Hey guys, another installment. Today, as you can see, the video is called Longer Division because I'm going to get into some problems with two steps. Yesterday's video, everything had only one step in division. It was pretty simple. But today we're going to get into a couple problems with two steps. And there's really a pretty simple way to figure out if you're going to have a problem with two steps or more than two steps. And it's by looking at the tens place of the dividend. If that digit is more than your divisor, over here, and I can see 8 is more than 3, then I'm going to have more than one step, because in math terms what you're thinking about is if you have 80 things, in this case we have almost 90, 86, whatever it's going to be, that we would split up into groups of 3, I'm going to be able to make at least 10 groups of 3. In fact, I can make more than 10 groups of 3, but I'm going to end up having a digit today in my tens place of my quotient. So keep in mind, everything you're going to see today in this video is going to have more than one step. Go through the cycle twice, prepping for moving through the cycle 3 times, possibly even 4 times. So let's get started with the video with 86 divided by 3. Right? Starting with this problem, 86 divided by 3. And if you remember from yesterday, 86 is our dividend, 3 is our divisor, and we're going to end up with a quotient up above the problem up here. And as I already pointed out, since the tens place of my dividend is bigger than my divisor, I know I'm going to have a digit in my answer. I'm going to have an answer with a digit in the tens place and the ones place. And to get started, we need to look at this number 8 and try to figure out, okay, how many groups of 3 can I make? Well, just like in the previous video I showed you to list multiples, you could count 3, 6, 9. Well, 3 groups of 3 would be 9. I only have 8. That means I could only make 2 groups of 3. Then I would multiply my second step. 2 times 3 would give me 6. I subtract for my third step. 8 minus 6 is 2. I check my 2 to make sure it is smaller than my divisor. Right? That's the check phase, because we want to make sure that we don't have enough left over down here where the 2 is to make another group. So I have 2 left, and now I get into this idea of bringing down my 6. Right? Now what I need to do is I need to take 26 and I need to split that into groups of 3. So listing multiples again, or counting, try to ask yourself what number times 3 would get me as close to 26. I know 3 times 7 is 21. That's pretty close. 3 times 8 is 24. That's even closer. 3 times 9 is 27, and 27 is too much. So that means I could make 8 groups. 8 times 3 would be 24. 26 minus 24 is 2. It's smaller than my divisor, which means my answer would be 28 with a remainder of 2. Right? 86 divided by 3 is 28 with a remainder of 2. And I also showed you today that you can check your work by taking your quotient of 28, multiplying it by 3. 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. We would get 84. And then add your remainder of 2 in, and you should get what we started with as a dividend. Right? That way we can check our work to make sure we are absolutely correct. Let's look at the second problem. This time we'll start with 79, and we're going to split that into groups of 4. So again, my tens place in my dividend is bigger than my divisor, so I start there and ask myself, how many groups of 4 can I make? Count multiples. 4, 8. 2 groups would be 8. That's too much. I can only make 1 group. 1 times 4 would be 4. 7 minus 4 for the subtract step is 3. 3 is smaller than my divisor of 4, so I bring my 9 down. Now I take 39 and I split that into groups of 4. Again, counting those multiples, using that strategy of trying to figure out what number times 4 would get you to 39. So I'm going to list some multiples over here. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, and 40. Now 40 is too much. That means I could make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can make 9 groups of 4. 9 times 4 again, 36 to figure out the difference. I subtract 39 minus 36, and my remainder is 3. 19 with the remainder of 3. So essentially what we're doing is we're doing that idea of does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers for divide, multiply, subtract, check would be an eyeball just to make sure you're looking at the problem, and then bring down, right? Does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers? We're going through that cycle now 2 times instead of just 1 time. So we divide first, we multiply, we subtract, we check, we bring down. Let's look at one more. And this time we'll start with 68 divided by 6. Now this one's a little confusing because the tens place in my dividend is exactly the same as my divisor. But if it's the same, that means I could make at least 10 groups, possibly more. But I'll be able to have a digit in my tens place because I can make 10 groups of 6. And in this case, that's exactly what I can make, right? I have a 1 in the tens place because I can make 1 group of 6. 1 times 6 is 6. Nothing left, right? It's a perfect division. Now I bring the 8 down, and I split 8 into groups of 6. Well, that's only 1 more group. 1 times 6 would be 6 again, and I have a remainder of 2. Okay, one last problem. I'll give you a chance to work this one out, so I'll pause it. 73 divided by 5. You can pause it, try to work this one out, then resume the video, and if you need some tips, you can kind of pause it along the way, and I'll work through it slowly even when I resume the video so that you can get a chance to solve it yourself. So go ahead and pause it, try to work this one out. Okay, you should have had a chance to pause the video. I'm going to start and I'll work through it slowly. So if you need to pause again along the way, just to give yourself a little bit of a tip here, you can. I'm going to start with this 7, split it into groups of 5. That would be 1 group of 5. 1 times my 5 would be 5, right? 1 group of 5 is 5. 7 minus 5 is 2. I check to make sure my 2 is smaller than my divisor of 5, and it is. So now I'm stumped. What do I do? Does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers? Oh, burgers. Bring down. I bring my 3 down, and then I start the whole process over again and split this into groups of 5. Right, then I would take 23 and split it into groups of 5. You can count multiples with 5s. It's pretty easy. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Skip counting by 5s. You guys know how to do that. And I know that I can get as close as possible with 4 groups of 5. 4 groups of 5 would be 20. And 23 minus 20 is 3. So 73 divided by 5 would be 14 with the remainder of 3. Next time we'll get into 3-step division, possibly even 4-step. If you need to watch this one again, go right ahead. If you need to check out some other videos or maybe try to make your own, again, that would be helpful. You can always post it to Seesaw because I'm sure people would love to learn from you just like they love to learn from anybody. And you have a lot to offer. Some of you are experts, so give it a shot. I'll see you guys in a bit.